and it cost them $700 to get it fixed.
All I hear, go get the money, so I go get it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Troy, back again with another episode of FreeLoad Fridays. Last week, we took a look at the 10 benchmarks that you're gonna use to build yourself up financially. And that very first one was to start giving. You're gonna do that now. You're gonna give. I don't care what the amount is. I don't care what the percentage is. And the reason being is because by the time we get to the last benchmark, that 10th one, you're gonna be giving in a generous and crazy way, but you don't end up getting there unless you've been building up the habits and the muscles of giving from now. So we're gonna start off with that one, which brings us to our second benchmark, which is saving $1,000 for a quick emergency fund. Now, some of you have been asking me, hey, Troy, I'm really ready to pay off my debts. I really wanna do that. When are you gonna show us how to do that? Well, just pump your brakes just for a second. Jack and Jill, a couple, they were so excited about making progress financially, so excited that they jumped straight into paying off their debts. When they noticed one day that there was a sound coming under the hood of their car, a rattling sound, and they took the car to the shop and it cost them $700 to get it fixed. Now, they didn't have the cash to cover that emergency. And you know exactly what they did. They took their credit card out and they started swiping away, which put them even further into debt, which is counterintuitive. Now, here's another couple, Ben and Barbara. Same exact situation, heard a rattling sound under the hood of the car, took it to the shop, $700 fix. But this time, they had saved for their $1,000 emergency fund. They had it right there. They didn't have to swipe, didn't have to go into debt to do what they needed to do. They had cash on hand to cover what life could throw at them. And that's exactly what life does. Life happens to all of us. And just because you're getting yourself together financially doesn't make you immune to what life will do to you. But it does matter if you have the cash to do what you need to do. CNBC came out with this article last year where they said that 60% of Americans do not have it to cover a $1,000 emergency, meaning that most of us will go into debt over a small emergency. Now, what I'm teaching you to do right now is to get ahead of the emergency. Don't get behind it. If you get behind it, you're gonna go into debt every single time. But if you get ahead of it, you will avoid getting back into debt. Now, here's a bit of a caveat. If your household income is about $50,000 or below, then go ahead and save about $500. If your household income is about $150,000 or above, then save about $1,500 or so. The $1,000 is just a baseline that will cover most Americans. Remember, for everybody, we're gonna circle back around later on in the benchmarks and build back up that emergency fund. Here's what you wanna do with this $1,000. You wanna put this in some kind of savings account where you can have very easy access to it. And so maybe like an online savings account might do, where you can just transfer it very easily, but do not put this in a checking account where you could accidentally spend this. You do not want to spend this on something that is not an emergency. Look, if you've accepted my challenge to do this 21-day spending fast, now is the perfect time to save this $1,000 for your quick emergency fund. Let's play a little game. The name of the game is emergency or not. And I need your help with this. You've got to tell me if the following scenarios are an emergency or are not an emergency. Here's the first one. My car breaks down and I can't get to work. Emergency or not? Definitely an emergency. Here's the second one. My heel breaks on my favorite pair of shoes. Emergency or not? That is not an emergency, folks. All right, next one. It's December and the boiler goes out in my home. Definitely an emergency. Last one. It's December and I haven't bought any Christmas gifts yet. Emergency or not? That, folks, is not an emergency. Make sure you spend your emergency fund only on things that are emergencies. Here's the reality. Saving for a quick emergency fund will help you to avoid debt. And avoiding debt is one of the surefire ways that you can take to build a great financial life. This is Troy. I know I just ruined your weekend, but I just helped you for the rest of your life. I'll see you next week, January 24th. And today I'm gonna teach you, number one, what an employer-sponsored retirement plan is. Number two, what an employer match is. And number three, why you should contribute to their 100% match for now.